Hey guys, welcome back. I wanted to show you a cool little trick in Maya that will allow you to speed things up or automate things that you do repeatedly. So for example, let's say I am performing a very similar action every single time I open up Maya. Maybe it's setting up lights or setting up scene. Maybe I'm setting up Arnold scene with environments. It doesn't really matter how complex something is. Even creating shapes. What if I wanted to automate that every single time? What if I don't want to ever set up lights again? I just want to do it one time. What would be the process of automating something like that? So the way you could do it is, if you look up here, you have all these different shelves, right? And if you wanted to create a new shelf, you can go to this little gear icon, and then you can do something called new shelf. In my case, let me call this, for example, I'll call it Alan, right? And I say OK. And then you can see at the very end of my tabs, a new tab was created, and now there it is. It says Alan, and I do have a something in here. I'm actually going to delete that, and just so we're all on the same kind of page. So now I have this blank shelf, and let's say I want to start putting things in my shelf. How do I do that? If I wanted to add something very specific. Let's say I like to go to mesh and I like to use mirror all the time, and I want it to be I want this mirror action to be on my custom shelf instead of sitting in some other place, for example like the poly modeling, right? What if I want to customize all this? Well, I can go to my shelf, I can go to mesh, and I can hover over the mirror, and then what I could do is I can hold down Control and Shift and click. And now this mirror was added to my custom shelf. And I could do the same thing with maybe smooth and combine and anything else that I like to use a lot, right? I can of course go to other tabs and do the same thing. Let's say I'm just gonna randomly click a bunch, right? So that's how you can custom create and choose different tools that you are using a lot. Now, let's say I want to move this tab somewhere else. Maybe I don't want it to be at the end. I would like to be in the beginning. How do I move this thing around? Well, you can go to the gear icon, and in here, if you go to shelf editor, you will see this list, right? And this list will have all of your tabs, and you can of course reorganize them. So I can select mine, and let's say I want to move it up one. So now you can see that has moved, and as I move it around, obviously it's jumping around, right? So you do have full control of where it's positioned, which is really nice. And now let's do this. Let's automate something. How do we automate something in Maya in addition to creating a custom menu? Well, if I want to automate something, check this out. I'm going to first decide what do I want to automate. So let me automate a task that I do a lot, right? So for that reason, I'm going to first open up script editor, and in here I'm going to clear everything out. So I'm going to clear my history by clicking on this button here. It says clear all. That's going to clear everything out. So now it's nice and empty. And if you don't have your script editor, you can of course find it under Windows, General Editors, and then go to your script editor. So all right, so that's mine. And now let's do this. I'm going to click on the box, and I'm going to create a box right in the center. I'm going to go to my, go to my attribute editor, or I guess the channel box, doesn't really matter. And let's say I want to make sure that it is positioned in the center. So I'm going to do that. And another thing that I would like to automate is the fact that I'm going to go to mesh, and I'm going to go ahead and smooth this out. So I'm going to choose subdivision level. I can decide what I want. I'm going to go with 2. And another thing that I want to make sure is that it's going to be a method exponential instead of linear, right? I don't want it to look like this. I want it exponential. All right, so now I created this, and now I would like this to be available to me on the shelf. And every time I use Maya, I just want to click a button and have this sphere appear in this location. And you know what? Let's change the location just for fun, right? I want it to be in this location. So how do I put this sphere onto my shelf? Well, let me go to my Allen shelf, and then let's go to script editor. Now you can see all of the stuff that was clicked after we cleared our history. So I can select all of this, and then I can middle mouse button and drag it right onto my shelf. And then I can just decide if I want it as a Mel or Python. I'm going to say Mel. And now let me close my script editor. Let's go ahead and select this and delete. And now if I click on this little button, you can see that all of that Mel script ran, and this was created for me automatically. Now this is a very simple action, but can you imagine doing something super complex? Maybe you were building something and you spend a long time again setting it up and building it, and you want it every single time. Or maybe you're doing a project and you would like to have access to it instead of importing it. You can just set it up as a button, which is really, really cool. Now, how do I, let's say I have 10 of these, right? How do I name this? Well, you can go back to your settings. You can go to shelf editor. In here, you can see my shelf has all these different things. So I can find my Mel script, and in here, the icon label for that could be sphere. I'm gonna say save. And there you have it. So now that's gonna be there every single time. And I think that's going to be really great and helpful for you guys to create your own custom menus with your own custom shapes. And you can even, of course, add other shapes as well. So if I wanted to create one of the existing shapes, I can, of course, go to create. Let's go to polygon primitives. And let's say I want to add a cylinder to my shelf. So again, Control Shift and click. And now you can see a custom shape next to a cylinder, so I can do that. All right, so a really cool little trick to create custom menus. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one.